What's up, girls and boys? It's me, Vianca, and I am back with another tips and tricks video. This time, it's for the latest installment of Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town. There's a bunch of new features and updated mechanics in this game that can leave people very confused. So buckle up as I provide you with a noob-friendly video that will help you through starting up your venture as you bring new life and the much-needed spark at Olive Town. Tip number 1, use the tool bag when you no longer have any space in your rucksack. In Pioneers of Olive Town, you are given two different types of inventory: the traditional rucksack with a maximum of 32 slots, and the tool bag where tools you are given will initially be located. It is easy to run out of inventory space at the beginning of the game. When that happens, you can move your tools back to the tool bag. A maximum of 9 spaces could be freed from your rucksack in doing so. To do this, simply open up your notebook by pressing Y, head to the bag tab, and once there, select the tool you want to send back to your tool bag by pressing A, and just navigate to the tool bag button and press A once again to confirm. To take your tools out of the tool bag, just press the tool bag button and select the tool you want as well as where in your rucksack you want to place it in. Tip number 2, obtain all the tools as soon as possible. All the tools you will need to start up your farm will be handed to you by the mayor, Victor, save for a couple of others which can be obtained from the other villagers of Olive Town. These tools include the fishing rod from Manuela, the camera from Gloria, the leash from Patricia, and the bucket from Clemens. Obtaining the rod and the camera can be done as early as your first day in Olive Town just by visiting Marcus's house near the beach and the museum respectively. The leash, on the other hand, is given to you from the animal shop once you've upgraded your tent to a log cabin, while the bucket can be obtained the morning after a rainy day. Tip number 3, craft a lot of makers. Crafting unlocks early on in the game, and what you can craft depends upon the levels of your various skills. Before you go crafting a bunch of items to spruce up your farm, however, focus first on crafting lumber makers and ingot makers, as these are needed to fix the dilapidated structures scattered across your farm and for upgrading your tools. Since it takes quite a while to process items through these makers, to manage your time well, you should create a couple of them to expedite things. Also, try to keep all of them running and processing items at all times. Tip number 4, mind your placements. Since this title relies heavily on how well you manage your time, and to add to the previous tip, when placing your makers, make sure that they are placed closely together and grouped accordingly. Place lumber makers next to each other and ingot and gem makers close together. This will make it easier for you when you are trying to mass produce items. Note that makers cannot be placed inside coops or barns. Tip number 5, chop, mine, and clean the farm. Lumber and ores are very important in this game, more so than it had been in More Friends of Mineral Town. Not only do you need them to fix up your farm and upgrade your tools, but chopping trees, plowing the fields, mining the rocks and boulders, and cleaning up the weeds also gives you the chance to find Earth Sprites. Finding them unlocks secret areas and characters which are beneficial to your stay in Olive Town. You can see how many sprites you've gathered by checking your status in your notebook. You, likewise, shouldn't worry about cutting too much trees, breaking too much rocks, or clearing up too much weeds, as these respawn over time, provided that you have not placed any craftable items on all the spaces of your farm. Just be mindful of your stamina, which is depicted as hearts on the top left corner of your screen. Tip number 6, always visit Olive Hall. One of the most important buildings in Olive Town is the Town Hall, Olive Hall, found to the north of the town, left of the stairs leading up to the shrine. Here you can answer villagers' requests, do town requests, which is the main story of the game, and claim rewards. As a rule of thumb, always visit the Olive Hall after foraging but before shipping your forage items off. The reason for this is the requests, as the easier ones could be done simply by handing over a foraged item. Completing these requests will not only give you monetary rewards, but will also increase the affection for the villager in question. Only ship your items once you check the request board. Likewise, make sure to check the rewards you may have unlocked, as these are pretty useful items. Tip number 7, easy money. Remember the rewards I talked about in the previous tip, which you can get from Olive Hall? Some of these rewards are tokens or medals. There are 3 types: bronze, silver, and gold, and these sell for a hefty amount of money and can be obtained by completing basic challenges, from taking care of animals, planting crops, harvesting, and so on. These medals have no other uses but to be sold, so do so as soon as you get them. Bronze sell for 120, silver for 600, and gold for a whopping 1,200 coins. Tip number 8, fix, fix, fix. There are many decrepit buildings scattered in Grandpa's farm. The first one you will encounter is the coop. Prioritize fixing this first by obtaining all the necessary resources to do so. After fixing the coop, work on fixing the bridge so that you can expand your farmland. Then work on the barn. If you manage your time well, you can get these fixed within the first 6 days in the game. Tip number 9, tame them livestocks. One new feature in this game is taming of livestocks. You now have an option to simply tame a nearby livestock you find frolicking in your farm rather than buy them from the animal shop. This is certainly helpful when you're trying to save money for other things, since buying breeding kits are less expensive than buying animals, and also breeding allows your livestock to start off with a much higher affection rating. To tame a livestock you may find in your farm, simply walk up to them and press A. Tip number 10, upgrade. At the start of the game, you only have 16 slots available in your bag. You also only have the basic tools for use. Upgrading your rucksack and your tools is essential in your work for the town and for your farm. Upgrading the rucksack and your tools requires you to visit Clemens in his tool shop. The first rucksack upgrade is worth 3,000 coins and adds an additional 8 slots, while the maximum upgrade for your rucksack will ask that you fork up 15,000 coins in exchange for another additional 8 slots. Upgrading tools tools is also quick in this game, as you only need to bring the necessary materials and the monetary payment to the tool shop, and Clemens will have it ready as soon as you hand over these items. No more waiting several days for these upgrades to finish. Upgrading tools also allow you to use the charge area effect with them. Tip number 11, get that house. Speaking of upgrading, you should also work on upgrading your living status from the tent to a log cabin as soon as the opportunity presents itself to you when Mayor Victor visits you and informs you about it. Upgrading to a log cabin unlocks a number of features for you to use, like the wardrobe to change your clothes, the journal to save your game, and the bathroom that you can use once a day to refill a portion of your stamina. You can also decorate your house with furniture, which you can get as rewards, buy in stores, or get from random drops from enemies in the mine. Tip number 12, mind your stamina. Stamina, depicted as the hearts on the upper left corner of the screen, depletes whenever you use your tools, and it can only be replenished via sleeping, using the bathroom once you've upgraded to a log cabin, eating food, or dining at the bistro, hotel, and the cafe. How much stamina you regain when sleeping differs depending on what time you've slept. Sleeping before 10 p.m. will fully replenish your stamina the next day, while sleeping between 10 to 11 p.m. will only replenish 81 to 90% of it. The latest you can sleep is at 2 a.m., which will give you a 48 to 54% max stamina the next day. Tip number 13, don't worry about item placements. One feature Pioneers of Olive Town has that the previous Story of Seasons games on the 3DS had is the ability to customize your own farm, and that includes where you wish items and buildings to be placed. You don't have to worry when placing these items, however, as you can change them on the fly and pick these items again if you so desire. These includes the farm facilities like the coop and the barn, though I'd suggest waiting until you've unlocked the third area of the farm before deciding on how you'd like your farm to look, just to save time. Tip number 14, donate to the museum. Now, this is one of the new features in the game, which is very similar to how Animal Crossing does it minus the critters. In Pioneers of Olive Town, you can donate photographs of wild animals you have taken with your camera, fish you've caught, including clams and oysters, as well as treasures you've found to the town's museum. Donating fish will let you view them in the museum and increase the number of tourists in town, while donating treasures and photographs gives you the option to buy a replica of these as decorations in your house or at your farm. Tip number 15, reel on blue. One of the updated mechanics Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town has is with fishing. Gone are the days of rapidly pressing A to reel in your catch. This time, it acts sort of like a minigame where you would have to time holding the button to effectively catch the fish and not snap your line. When fishing, focus on the fish icon that appears alongside the fishing bar. This fish has 3 different colors: red, white, and blue. Reel the fish in only when the icon is blue, and only reel it in during a white icon if the fish is close to the surface. Let go of the button when it's red and keep the line from breaking. The exclamation mark that appears when the fish bites also indicates what type of fish you can catch, with the larger multiple exclamation marks being rarer fish. Tip number 16, utilize the sprites. One of the many things you can unlock is the Earth Sprite Village, which will be made available to you after obtaining 25 Earth Sprites. Here, you can talk with the Green Manager Sprite to delegate the Earth Sprites to various tasks. At the beginning of the game, you only have 3 you can send them to: the Stone Sprite, the Grass Sprite, and the Log Sprite. Send them over to these sprites and frequently check on these sprites to obtain sprite coins that you can use to purchase things from the boss sprites as well as various other items. Tip number 17, how shops work. Seeds are very important when it comes to Story of Seasons. After all, you can't start a farm without seeds. Unlocking new crops differs in this game, as is unlocking the items being sold on shops. Shops will only begin to sell items after you've shipped them, and the same is true with the seeds. For instance, strawberry seeds won't be sold until you sell a foraged strawberry, or the grocery store will not sell salt unless you've shipped rock salt. So make it a point to sell foraged items or even crops given to you as rewards at least once. Tip number 18. Online? One of the things asked at the beginning of the game is whether you want to play online or offline. So what is this all about? Well, in Pioneers of Olive Town, there is a little bit of online functionality added into the game. Your friends can come visit your Olive Town as tourists randomly, with the same user visiting only once every week. Similarly, you can visit your friend's Olive Town as well. Sadly, however, they only come as NPCs, meaning you don't really get to interact with them apart from exchanging a voice line. In order to actually toggle this, however, you need to go to the tourist center and enable it from there. Note that your name as well as your farm name will be visible to other players. Also, when online mode is turned on, the photos you've captured turn into loading screens in the game. So if you're wondering why you suddenly have a squirrel's butthole as your loading screen in the game, that's because someone else took that photo while they are in online mode. Tip number 19, raising livestocks. Taking care of livestock in this game is different now than it was in previous iterations. Gone are the many livestock-related tools and the dependency on too much fodder. Now you can just let your livestock graze by hitting the bells near their facilities, except of course when it's rainy. During rainy weathers, keep them inside and only use one fodder for all the animals in a particular facility. You can do this by splitting the stacks of fodder and just dropping off one in the feeder at the barn or coop. For livestock you can milk or shear, you only need to interact with the animal in order to get their produce. Eggs, as always, can be found inside the coop so long as your hens are well nourished. Always pet your livestock as well to increase their affection and happiness rating. Keep a lookout for when there is an emoticon popping up atop their heads, as this signifies an increase in friendship and you would need to interact with them for this increase to count. As a side note, friendship affects quality of produce, breeding, and getting ultra quality products, while happiness affects milking and shearing chance and the chance to get ultra quality produce. Tip number 20, have fun. If you feel like the game is too hard on you, or if you are struggling with managing your time and resources as well as earning money, then you may want to lower your difficulty to Seedling, where stamina decreases are minimized and you can earn more money. Bokujo Monogatari games are meant to be as enjoyable as they are relaxing, a break from the usual grind more action-oriented games have, and if you get frustrated having selected the normal difficulty, there is no shame in pausing the game, heading to options, and lowering it to an easier one. Play at your own pace and in your own way. Experience the game the way only you can. It's okay to make mistakes, that's, how we learn. There's no rush and you shouldn't get stressed over it as well. Explore, experiment, and most important of all, have fun. And that about does it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. I still have a bunch of other Pioneers of Olive Town videos. I'm going to give this the same kind of treatment that I gave the Story of Seasons more Friends of Mineral Town game. So expect a bunch of other walkthrough videos, tutorial videos, tips videos when it comes to this game. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye-bye now. Keep safe, everyone. Stay at home.